What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Respectfully. I'm your host, Cam Farmer. I've been away for quite some time, almost a month. People gotta understand, grad school be grad schooling, so you know what I mean. But today I'm back. I have a very, very special guest with me. Someone I've had the pleasure of knowing since fifth grade in the sandbox.
Hey.
Seeing her excel not only in the classroom but also outside of the classroom. I have with me Miss Morgan Mo Johnson.
Gamma, thank you so much for having me on this podcast, man. You know I love to talk, so we
Nah,
can
man,
get
it.
into it.
Listen, man. Well, listen, I'm excited that you're here. Really just having the honor to speak to you. I know you know your schedule is very hectic, so yeah. No, I mean, listen, we gonna treat this like we on the school bus all over again. Like
Literally, yeah.
this is unscripted, unbiased. This
Look,
is what do you call it? Uncensored.
yeah,
Documentary,
this is
not
real
documentary,
deal.
real deal
Look,
type stuff.
real deal.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man. No, we just gonna go ahead and get into it. How are you? How you feeling? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed to say the least. Blessed, just through all the trials I've been through, just in 4 years of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely just learned a lot. God has blessed me with wonderful people, family, friends, and just he's wanted me to learn new things. And I definitely think, man, like without going through what I've been through, I wouldn't be the person I am today for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean absolutely. I think that's the beauty of life. I think
Mm-hmm.
we are who we are as people. It's not
Yeah.
we're not judged by our successes, but it's how we
Right.
overcome the obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been through you've been through some things in the last couple years.
Yeah, man.
But we're gonna get into all that. For those of you that don't know Morgan, some of her teammates will probably see this. Teammates and past teammates. For those of you that don't know Morgan, Morgan is a softball player. She has been playing softball since she was what, 6, 7?
Yeah, 6, 7, yeah, yeah.
Like golly, she's been playing
And I'm 23, so
23.
woo.
You know what I mean. Yeah, she's been laboring in softball for many years. She
Mhm.
uh played, or at least from my experience, I first witnessed Morgan play softball in Evans Middle School, Evans High
Yep.
School. She committed to Clemson. And then she graduated back in May. Congratulations. I
Thank
know
you,
I
Ken.
know it
Thank
was a
you,
year
man.
ago, but listen,
But still, look.
but
Yeah,
still,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
feel me? You feel me?
yeah.
But yeah, I, she, because you graduated with health science, if I
Yeah,
remember
I
correctly.
did my undergrad in health science. Yep, that's exactly what I did it in.
Respect,
Yep,
respect.
yep.
But yeah, she graduated from Clemson University with her bachelor's degree in health science, and is a
Mhm.
grad transfer, playing
Yep.
softball at Eastern Carolina University.
Mhm.
Man, look, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you, but just kind of talk about your humble beginnings,
Mhm.
with softball. How did you get into it?
Yeah.
And then just kind of talk about what got you into softball, period.
Yeah, so growing up, like I always played sports. Like my dad had me in all types of sports. I was playing basketball, I was playing soccer. My mom had me in tennis. But honestly, like I think I was playing basketball or something. My dad's the one who got me into softball. So like I started at a very young age. I remember I was doing rec or whatever, and I was like, I really like this sport. I was playing basketball at the same time. I was always tall. So like, basketball, we was always working, doing stuff. But then like when I got introduced to softball, he introduced me to softball. I was like, wait a minute, I think I can be good at this. You know what I'm saying? So, and from then, like honestly, I took off with that. My dad has been working with me ever since. When I moved to Georgia, so I moved to Georgia when I was 10 years old. And I started playing travel ball. So like it's different between travel and rec ball. Like travel ball, like you're on a team, you're playing year round, you're traveling, you're going places, etc. So I started doing travel ball when I was 10 years old, and I got into that. And I was like, you know what, like I do want to go to college for softball. Like I do want to play at the collegiate level, or whatever. So again, I think around when I was my junior year in high school, I played out of a team out of Atlanta. to help with recruitment and stuff like that. And I got, more eyes on me and stuff like that. In June of 2018, I went to a Clemson camp. I didn't know Clemson didn't have a softball team at the time, but they didn't. And they were creating a softball program. So our coach was like, we're going to have a camp, for our tribal team, think you should go. I went, I signed, I told my mom, I was like, Mom, if I go to this camp, I know I can go get to Clemson. Like, I can feel it. It's just like when you could feel something. I was like, yeah, I can go here and get a scholarship from here. So we also had a showcase tournament, probably like 2 hours from Clemson. So I went to the camp, did good. At the time, I was committed to Georgia Southern. So I
Really?
went to the camp. Yeah, at the time, I was committed to Georgia Southern. Yeah. So I went to the camp and they were talking to like my coaches and something like, is she committed anywhere? And like, yeah, Georgia Southern. Like, she's still open, like for recruiting. And I was still way open. So they saw me and they saw me play, and I went off. Like, I played. I think I hit 5 home runs within 6 games, and they were at every single game I played. And then that next week they called me and offered me, and I was like, yeah, like I'm taking it. I mean, they ain't got no program. Like, it's a new beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're starting fresh. And man, since then, coming to Clemson, being at Clemson, I've learned so much. I had to get adjusted to being a college student athlete. Like, my eyes were like this. Like, my eyes were so wide because, like, Clemson, football, they big in football. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, I'm going to a school that's big in football. They got good education, all types of stuff. And it was hard adjusting at first, man. Like, being away from home, it was different because I always, I'm real family oriented. So, like, being away from home, that was a little tough. But getting into working out, like we was working out at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We had practice at 2:30 every day except Monday. Monday was an off day. I had 10 hours of study hall as a freshman, and I had tutoring. Like, I couldn't sleep. And I had biology lab. Biology lab was like at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Monday. I mean, man, whole bunch of stuff. So, like, I'm trying to juggle all this stuff, right? And it was hard. It was hard, and it was hard for me also too to adjust on the softball field too, like learning different techniques, learning different skills, being able to pick up stuff quicker. I remember like in October 2019, my family was coming. It was family weekend. Got a concussion, literally on family weekend, so they couldn't see me play. So I was out with that. I was just like, oh my goodness. And then I come back from that, getting better. Our first tournament ever at UCF in February. I was running to the bag, I hit the ball, the girl overthrew, so I like turned to go to second and my knee just popped like that. And honestly, I didn't know like what it was, but I was literally in so much pain. And when we flew back and all that type of stuff, went to the doctor, like, yeah, like, have you had, a knee injury in the past? I'm like, yeah, I used to play basketball, and like, yeah, like, and I said, I hyperextended it. He was like, yeah, your ACL was already partially torn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What?
it was a lot of scar tissue. It was no blood or nothing like that. So, like, it was already partially torn. Had hyperextended my knee my sophomore year in high school. Went to the doctor. Like, oh, everything's good. Da, da, da. I was like, cool. He did the, test, got an x-ray, whatever. Thank God they didn't do no MRI because it would have showed that, right?
Right.
And I was just thinking about, I was like, man, the Lord really kept me all that time. Because honestly, to be honest with you, had I hurt my knee before then, I probably wouldn't be going to school. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it's hard, like, when you get hurt before to get recruited, because they want somebody that, let's be real, they want somebody that's fresh. They want longevity out of you, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, I was like, man, it was already personal, and God held me this long, and to be at still a great place where I had great treatment, I had all the help I needed. Man, like, at the time, I didn't see that for what it was because I'm a freshman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, I heard that. Then COVID hits. So we go home, right? I'm doing PT all summer long at home and stuff, like just getting back, right? Sophomore year, got back, cleared. Still had a little bit of problems, but I was working through that and started playing. I had the joy that I always had playing, like that came back. I was more grateful for being on the field instead of, because it's easy to look at, man, I didn't do this right, or I didn't do this good, or I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And to you be all up here mental instead of just thank God for what He's done for you. And going through that, my first one, I was like, you know what? I gotta build a better relationship with God. Like, I gotta strengthen my relationship with God. And from that point forward, I was building on that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? I know who I am without softball. Before I got hurt, I did not know who I was without softball. Because softball was It was my life. That's what I was doing every year, every day. I mean, I'm countless hours to softball, right? So when it was gone, I was like, I mean, at first I was like, I just felt like, what am I doing here? Like, what is my worth? And sometimes it's sad though, because it's like you are far more than just your sport, you
Right.
know. And I had to see that when I got hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So that, going through that, and then again, my junior year, I tore it again, right?
Yeah.
But then a lesson in that guy was trying to show me is patience. Well, you got to be patient. Sometimes, like, I was trying to force things that weren't there. I wanted to try to prove myself, to prove that I belonged in the lineup, to prove that I belonged on the field and all types of stuff. And God was like, well, you don't got to prove nothing to nobody. All you have to do is please me, and I got you. Believe and trust in me. Have patience. And so from that second injury I had my junior year, which was in 2021 in the fall, I saw that. I was like, Lord, you're right. And, he just kept, strengthening me through that time, because that was a hard time for me. My junior year was probably the hardest time of my 4 years. No, by far the hardest, because after I tore ACL, my grandmother ended up dying too. So it was a lot of
Oh
stuff I was going
wow.
through. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do next year. I didn't know, like, I was trying to figure out, okay, am I going to do grad school? Because I graduated in December of 2022, because I only had one more semester left. And I didn't know what I was going to do to stay eligible to play in May of 23. And so I just took some filler classes or whatever, but I was trying to figure all that stuff out, man. And last year, it was a tougher time for me, because I didn't get the opportunities I wanted to playing. You know what I mean? But around February 2023, I was just praying. I was like, Lord, let your will be done. I was praying, Lord. I was praying to him, Lord, I pray that I can go to another school, get my master's degree, play, and really just do what I've been wanting to do. Knowing, the ability that I have to play this game. Man, I got in the portal around May, and I was like, again, I was still just saying, I was like, man, Lord, what if I didn't get hurt? Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want to leave Clemson. Honestly, I've been there for 4 years. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, I built relationships with people, met great people, wonderful people, lifelong friends, right?
Yeah.
But I had to realize, when God has something else for you, He gonna move you forward. You know what I'm saying? When you've done what all He needed you to do at that place, it's time for you to keep moving forward. So I was just still like, Lord, where am I gonna go? Because again, I didn't have many people reach out to me in the portal, So I was like, man, it's about over for me then. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was getting a little defeated, but the Lord was like, Morgan, if I got you, you don't got to worry about nothing. Your trust is
Right.
in me, right? I said I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do.
Right.
So come around July, one of our coaches at Clemson was talking to one of the coaches at ECU, and he reached out to me. He was like, you should really, come, have come on a visit, really look into it, da da da. So I come on the visit. My mom was with me. I was still hesitant, man, because I was like, well, this is not real. I ain't heard of this school, like I didn't want to go there for softball. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go
Yeah.
there. I wasn't thinking about going to that school. My mom was just so, positive. Well, like, this is something that a blessing from God. You better take it, because I was close to not taking this either. You know what I'm
Really.
saying? I was just close to just being done. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I got 2 years left. Well, whatever. Like, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to go through all that anymore. Like, in a way, I felt defeated from the things that I went through and just not getting the opportunities that I wanted.
Yeah.
My mom was like, Morgan, you're gonna be glad you took this. So I took it. You know what I'm saying? The adjustment from the fall, like August, it was tough, man. Because I'm further away from home. When I was at Clemson, I was only 2 hours from home. Now I'm like 5. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And I'm in a new environment. I'm a grad student. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know nobody, right? So it was a tough adjustment for me
Yeah.
mentally. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, did I make the right decision? Should I just go back home? You know what I'm saying? No, and I was praying that the Lord renew my mind to have me thinking the way, because I've been thinking a certain way, like, woe is me, I can't do this, I can't do that. But the Lord was like, Morgan, change the way you thinking,
Yeah.
change, continue to seek my word. And I'm gonna tell you what I think of you. It don't matter what anybody else think about you, it's what I think of you, right? So
Right.
then things start clicking and working together, right? Come now, January, I'm, playing and stuff like that, man. I'm doing what I know always could have been doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I just like always want to do, play this game freely, have fun, man. Like, I'm getting the opportunities I want to, and sometimes, and it's not to say it's still easy right now, because like you're gonna go through things in the game, you ain't gonna perform the way you want to. Like this past weekend, I didn't perform the way I wanted to whatsoever. But then I do remind myself, look, I done went through adversity, like just for my 4 years, far more than this game, what this game could bring to me, right? So it's like, Morgan, you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep moving forward because you're gonna have disappointment. You're gonna have times like, man, this is hard. Man, this is tough. But if had God not put me through what I went through and I learned the lesson I learned, I wouldn't be sitting right here today. I wouldn't be able to continue to encourage myself and having people around me, good staff to help more and keep going. Look, it's not over. You know what I'm saying? Have family and friends continue to encourage me. Look, God got you there for a reason, you know? So it's, man, I'm telling you, I didn't kind of went through that like 4 years real quick, but like, it's been a learning experience, and honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. If I'm being completely honest with you, yeah, it's like sometimes I'm like, man, I get hurt, but I had God. That's what God wanted me to go through at the time, and I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about God and His goodness and His mercy, and He brought so many wonderful people around me to help me. Man, like I'm talking about lifelong friends, lifelong family. You know that I have now. You know, my family has always been supporting me, so he's put me in these situations and a lot tested me, but then also had people there to help me. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm blessed, man. And even though sometimes I look at it, I'm like, people are like, how did you come back from 2 ACLs? I didn't do it. God helped me.
Yeah.
God did. He gave me the strength to get through because on my strength alone, I can't fight that. I can't do that. But with
Right.
His strength, I can do all things.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, you put it. That was really good. Like the way you put it. I mean, because a lot of people don't. Like I said before we recorded, it's like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who are on the outside of athletics are expecting you all to
Yeah.
be terminators and these
Yes, man.
machines that aren't supposed to feel anything. But it's like you're putting your body on the line every day. Like it's
Every
every day,
day.
and so like how has your perception, I and you probably mentioned it, but I guess for clarification, like how
Mm-hmm.
has your perception of the obstacles you've overcome, like how has that perception changed? Because you said like
Oh yeah.
man, like if I wasn't injured, what if I was this and what if I was that?
Mm-hmm.
Because like your third, because I want to say was it 20? Because you said you tore your ACL your junior year, right?
I tell you, I tore it my freshman year and my junior year. Yep.
Freshman year and your junior year. Okay, so like your sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
like you were like, and I've seen the stats,
Oh
like
yeah.
you were balling, like
Yeah.
you had a batting average of like 31%, like that's
Yeah.
that's
3 3.
kind of
Yeah.
hard to like sustain over a long
Yeah.
period of time.
Man, over a long period of time. Yeah.
Like,
You know, honestly, like, yeah. And I was just trying to do the best with whatever opportunities I got. Like even
yeah,
then, like I wanted more opportunities, but like God was like, Morgan, just make the best of what you can, right? And like my perception, like at first of everything, it's like but again, as you get older, you start to see. When you in it, you really don't see it, right? But now that I'm older and when I'm in certain things, I can kind of like pick up on, okay, what does God want me to see? At the beginning, I'm like, why is this happening to me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
why me? Well, then again, like, God, why not you? You know what I'm saying? They don't mean like just because yeah, you're here. Again, this is what I was thinking when I was coming into college. Man, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna break these records here. I'm gonna be playing this. I had not a thought in my mind of getting hurt. Not a thought in my mind of anything going wrong. Right?
God
Nothing.
said bet.
Man, oh yeah, let me show you. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, Morgan, you got so much stuff that you need to learn that I gotta teach you that. I gotta put you through this, right? And it wasn't until the end, like around September, when I realized like kind of like the theme of what God was showing me those past 4 years, which was patience. Morgan, have patience, have faith, trust that I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, and I am who I said I am. Have patience, believe. You know what I'm saying? And I have a problem sometimes. I want things now. I want this to happen now. When I was getting hurt, I was like, Lord, like. But see, the thing is too, when you tear your ACL, you got phases you got to go through. You can't just jump from one spot to another, right? Yeah, they fix your ligament, whatever, get you a new ligament, but you got to go through phases. And I remember just going through each phase. I'm just kind of like, parts of me's like, okay, I had to get my quad strength back. Then you're still wearing a brace. Then you got to kind of move to, okay, I used to get on the underwater treadmill to start, walking and running. And then you get on ground. Like, you have phases you had to go through. And sometimes I find myself trying to, okay, I tell the athletic trainer, like, oh, can I move to this now? No, 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 no. You gotta pass this first. And I feel like that correlated exactly just with life in general. You know what I'm saying? Like God wanted me to show you there's things He's gonna put you through. You gotta go through, have this phase here. And once you done with that phase, okay, then he gonna move you to the next. Okay, then he gonna move you to the next. He gonna move you to the next. He gonna keep progressing you, but you gotta have patience because you don't know. Like, there's no time stamp when God say, okay, then it's your time now. Because I always ask God, like, what is it my time? When is it gonna be my time to get out there on the field and hit that ball, do this, do that? Look, God's time is the best time, and at the time being in it, being going through, different trials and stuff like that, you don't see it then. But when it goes away and you kind of look at it from the outside, and you like, man, that's exactly what he was trying to show me,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's man, it's all learning experience for me. And sometimes even now, some of the things like just last week, a week and a half ago, I got concussed. Then my finger got infected. Then I got sick. So I was just like, man. But I was like, Lord, hey, I know you done brought me from far worse. I got my ligaments on my knee. You know what I'm saying? I can
Yeah.
come back from this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's giving me, like, when I go through other certain things, I'm like, man, God brought me from that. He gave me strength to get to that. I know he'll get me through this, right? And that doesn't mean that you're not gonna have any worry, not any doubt and stuff like that. Because I still have doubts right now, even with, like, he's giving me the ability to play this game, and I'm playing it to the best of my ability. But then I'm still down, my ability to play, still
Right.
down the talent, and that just and sometimes it just happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I
Right.
gotta snap out and be like, you know what? God has me here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He said to trust Him. Not nobody else. Either just please Him, not nobody else. Because it's easy to get when you're in the sports, feeling like you got to prove yourself to everybody. Feeling that you
Mm.
gotta please people on your performance, right? But you're more than a number. You're more than a stat. You know what I'm saying? You're like me. I'm God's child first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he knows me more than anybody, better than anybody else. Right? He knows all my thoughts. He knows what exactly when I feel it. He knows exactly what I need and when to give it to me and when not. Right?
Yeah.
So it did, man. It's just, I really, like, for me, and again, I'm big on my faith because that's the only reason I'm here today and made it through any of the things that I went through. Right? Is
Yeah.
because God Himself has helped me through everything, and my family being that way too, encouraging me with the Word of God, continuing to, and friends too. Like, when you got friends and family, He give you a good community like that, man. Like, it's that's success right there. Even though
It
you may be in
is.
the midst of the storm, right? You can make it through the storm because the storm ain't gonna last, always. You gonna get through the storm, but when you got a good support system and a good community of people around you, man, it makes it easier, to get through.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you just said. I have a couple questions. Well, I'll ask you one, and then you could just answer that way, and I'll probably just come up with questions as you explain it. But uh, I want to kind of stay on the topic of your faith
Mm-hmm.
because I was gonna ask you questions about like how like what was that your rehabilitation process like what was that like coming back from
Uh huh.
ACL, but
Yeah.
I'll ask you that later in the episode. But what as a student athlete and you talk about
Uh
your
huh.
faith and how
Mm-hmm.
you're profound in your faith and things of that nature, talk about a time where you had mentioned it, like you don't ever have to prove yourself as a person, as a
Mm-hmm.
student athlete. You're more than a number, you're more
Mm-hmm.
than a stat. And
Mm-hmm.
given the nature of the media where we're
Mm-hmm.
at today, um
Mm-hmm.
we can get, and as people, and I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to generalize everyone, but I speaking
Mm-hmm.
for myself, like I can get so caught up in the greatness of an athlete,
Yeah.
male or female, that
Yeah.
I fail to remember that they are human and they
Mm-hmm.
have, you know, they are profound in their faith. CJ Stroud is a prime
Mm-hmm.
example. Dude is a top quarter, like his playoff run
Man.
is just like
Yeah.
he just proved that he's going to be a top AFC quarterback, probably top quarterback in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL in very few, very short span of time. But he's propounded his faith. How, as a student athlete, how
Mm-hmm.
do you how do you remain grounded in your faith? Like, what would be your advice to up and coming collegiate athletes and every athlete, whoever sees this,
Mm-hmm.
like what would be your advice to them who come from, you know, Jesus centered homes, family oriented
Mm-hmm.
homes, and things of that nature. And when they go off to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be very, very, it's
Yeah.
very, very, it's not, it's not, uh, it can be very challenging to,
Oh yeah.
stay rooted in your faith,
Oh yeah.
being a collegiate athlete. So what is like, how do you remain grounded, and what is
Mm-hmm.
your, um, what would be your advice to up and coming
Mm-hmm.
collegiate athletes, up and coming high school athletes, and how they, and athletes who go to the pros and stuff like that? Like, how, what would
Yeah.
be your advice in how to maintain, your root, your being rooted and grounded in your faith?
Mm-hmm. So for me, so when I came to Clemson my freshman year again, my family, Christians, rooting God, they'd be like, more, read your Bible, make sure you're doing this. I'll be like, yeah, 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 like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But it wasn't like until I got to college again, I'm leaning on their faith to get me through. When I realized I gotta have my own faith because I'm going through, like, I'm on my own now, right?
Right.
I'm going through things, right? And they can't always help me. They as much as I want to call them for everything, they're not with me all the time, right? So I had to realize now, I was like, you know what, Lord, I remember I just pray. Honestly, for me, it's praying like, Lord, I prayed, said, Lord, can you please bring some good people around me, Lord, that are like-minded like me, that love you. And he did just that with friends that I had. And I got involved in FCA as well. And one of our chapel leaders, I remember she came to our practice and she introduced herself. And I just automatically just was like, man, like her spirit, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, like a calming spirit. And I got, with her, and she helped me to help continue to strengthen my faith. We did Bible study together. We talked together. She was like, to me, like another mom away from home, but,
Right.
and she was there for me. She helped, she told me the truth. She's like, this is what God said, like, believe in that. She encouraged me. She helped me every step of the way. And I mean, like, her name's Miss Jess. Like, she literally helped me so much through my 4 years just with continuing to push me to, seek God's word first. Yeah, like, yeah, she's like, yeah, you had me, but like, seek him first and all you do. So having those like figures in your life, help too. So like me, again, FCA, fellow Christian athlete, she was a part of
Mhm.
that. And then also too, they had, our coach had her come to practice to introduce herself. Right.
Right.
So that helped me too. But like on my own, like praying and really getting in my word and reading my Bible, sometimes you don't know where to start, right? The Holy Bible app, like they have plans. So when I feel a certain way, say patience, anger, or I'm sad, you can go on there and click one, and it'll like have a plan for you, right? To
Right.
read, and it's not long. So I started getting into that and doing my devotionals and stuff like that to help me, because I realized, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna stay true to who I am, but I realize it's easy to get off the track. It's easy to get off the track. You got seeing all these different things. Satan trying to come any way he can get you. And when he has your mind, he has you. Because your
Yeah.
mind is the most powerful thing. Because wherever your mind goes, your body follows. And I realized, man, my mind, because that's what gets you through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like even with looking at it from a sports, my game is like 99, more than 90% mental, right?
Yeah.
More than 90% mental, right? You can have all the physical capability that you want, right? But if you're not strong here mentally, you don't believe in you don't believe in the talent that God has given you don't believe that you can do it, you don't believe that you put in the work, and you allowing other things to distract you, it's hard to be successful. And that's just in life too. It's the small things to get you off mentally to where you feel like your whole day is messed up, right?
Yeah.
But like if you focus on what is true, which is God and His Word, it makes you feel so much better. Like all these worries, these strongholds that you have, anxiety, with being a student athlete, performance anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like worried about, okay, what are they gonna say if I don't hit the ball like this? Okay, what are they? Just worried about everything. Because I used to be that way. I still have some of those worries and stuff like that, but I used to have it really bad. But until I started focusing, putting my eyes on God and what He wants me to see and what He wants me to learn, and just what He thinks of me as a person already, to send His Son to die for my sins because He loves me that much, like, it's like, man, the Lord put me here for a reason. So I'm gonna do my best to give all the glory to Him and do everything that I can to glorify His name.
Yeah.
So like again, it's tough going to college, and you say you've been at the house, now you in an environment where you got all the free will in the world, right?
Yeah.
You know? But it's like you have to remember, like, this stuff is temporary. It's
Yeah.
like this stuff, like all this stuff is temporary. But God can get you through anything. God is the one who can get you out of anything. And he's the one that can change your mind. He can change things so quick to where it's like, whoa, like, man, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Like I remember I prayed a few months ago. I was like, Lord, I pray for peace in my mind, Lord. Like my mind is cluttered. I'm worried about this. Man, I woke up that next morning. I was,
Yeah.
my mind was so clear and so just like at peace. I was like, oh man, God works, and and when He works, He gonna work for you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you got to believe and trust in Him. You got to follow His path, not nobody else's path. 'Cause again, coming to college is easy to look at. Okay, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Look there, but stay true to who you are, right?
Yeah.
Stay true to who you are. And it's not gonna be easy just because you got your faith in God. That don't mean it's gonna get easier for you. If anything, it's probably gonna be a little tougher because you're gonna have all these distractions trying to come at you to pull you off the path. Satan's gonna try to come any way he can to get you off the path that God has for you.
Right. No, it's funny. Ow. It's funny. See, that's double. That's double. You see, he want me to say that. Golly. No, but I was watching an online service yesterday because I was back in Atlanta with my family, and I was watching an online service, and the preacher was talking about how, do not let the devil come to stop you from, achieving your assignment. And I think that's probably the whole basis of life, is that people don't actually understand, like, you're actually on an assignment. And I think the assignment isn't necessarily tied to what you do on earth, like what you like, I don't know, like maybe it's me, but I feel like a lot of people think that their calling is like, you have your why and you have your purpose that God has given you, but like that purpose is far beyond, like you said, it's far beyond a basketball. It's far beyond. It's far beyond. Like, if we being honest, and I'm not like belittling any greatness, but it's far beyond a children's game. You know what I mean? And I think when you see LeBron James, like he talks about it all the time, like how he just helps people, right? And how you see him, helping people in his community, and you see it with collegiate athletes like you all, you all are very, very integrated in the community. You all are very profound in your community, and I think that's the assignment. Until we see Jesus, it's like, okay, you know what? We're gonna stick to our assignment that He's called us to do, and then when we see him, meet him face to face, He'll say, "Well done, that good and faithful servant." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's really real that you said that. Because like the enemy, if he can't, like, he'll do anything to get to you, and if he can't use someone else to get to you, he will literally come into your mind, bro.
Man,
like,
I'm telling you,
like life in and of itself, like a lot of the problems that people have, and the actions that people take, like negative actions that people take towards other people, is because of their mind, bro. Like, when you think about like all of these like high profile like lawsuits and stuff like that, like like the Murdoch family, like this guy Alex Murdoch killed his wife and his son and stuff like that, and you think about it, it's like, yo, like you ain't really need to do all that, but like you going through something in your mind that led you, for whatever reason, that led you to think that it's okay to take away someone's life. Period. And it doesn't have to be to that extreme, but it's like a lot of the issues that I feel like our generation faces, and the all that stuff that goes on, it's just like it happens in our mind, which causes us to do the very thing that our mind tells us to do. So it's like,
to do.
You know what I mean? So,
man, I know.
It's crazy, man. And
God, like the devil, you have somebody, come to, it's like some people can say certain things to get you in a mood. You like, all of a sudden you angry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what the devil wants you to be. The devil wants you to be angry. And then the devil also wants you to take the next step because you are angry. You know what I'm saying? Say things that you shouldn't say. Do things that you shouldn't do. you know. But it's like when you realize, when you become more aware, because like over the years now, I'm becoming more aware of what I'm thinking. Like when things come into my mind that are negative, that's not of God. So then who is it then? It's Satan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
again, times we can be our worst enemy when those thoughts come in and we start to entertain those thoughts and think about it and be like, oh my gosh, is it true? And you start saying it out loud, then it's like you start to believe. I mean, I'm telling you, what you think, then you say out the, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. That's real.
It
Okay?
is.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
is.
here to here and then coming out, yeah.
Yeah,
That like you say those things, like the body follows, man. Like
it does.
speaking things into existence, man.
And like you said, it's real for real. Like it
It is
really
real for real.
is.
Like this is not a joke.
It's not no
It's not a
joke, bruh.
game, man.
And that's why
It's not.
a lot of times it's like it's very important that anyone who is going through things or something like that, it's very
Mhm.
important that you be very kind to yourself and give yourself grace, because
Mhm.
like I said, like if the devil can't get to you through other people, he will literally attack you in your mind.
Oh yeah.
And attacking you in your mind could it could mean a lot of different things. Like attacking you in your mind could mean like you thinking that you're not good enough, or you thinking that
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you aren't worthy, or
Yeah.
you thinking
You
that
aren't worthy.
you are, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's stuff like that, and it's just
Yeah,
like
man. Stuff like that.
you have to be very, very, you are your own best friend, and even though you are
Mhm.
your own worst critic, you are your own best friend. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's
You're
very,
right.
so if you call yourself, man, I'm an idiot, you got to be careful, because you
You
are
gotta be careful.
got
You
to be careful,
have to
bro.
be careful.
Got to.
You got to be careful. Like what you say, like about yourself. Like sometimes sometimes I'm my worst enemy. There's things I say about myself. I'm like, or like you wouldn't say that to nobody else, but you say that to yourself. Like
Yeah.
really, And it's like, oh, like say, oh man, I'm frustrated. Da 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 da. Then you really become frustrated, even more frustrated. Like for instance, again, like this past weekend, I ain't hit the way I wanted to hit. And I started letting that stuff get to me. I'm like, I just don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. Da da da. Now, man, like now you let that get the best of you. You really did. That's what the devil wants. The
Yeah.
devil wants you to be frustrated with what you're
Yeah.
doing. Oh, you're not performing the way you want to perform. Oh, you're not as good as they say you are. You're not as good as that. You're not as good as that. And I became frustrated. I was like, God. But then I realized he got it right here. He got me right here. So then I spoke that out, man. It ain't get no better from there. It ain't get no better from there, you know. But instead of saying, you know what, this is a part of the game. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep going. I'm
Yeah.
still great. I'm still good. I still can play this sport. I still can hit the ball. Then that changes things. But when
Yeah.
you start saying stuff, I can't do this. I can't do that. My dad used to get stuff. My dad did not allow me to say the word can't. Like
Mm.
what'd you say? Can't. I'm like, oh, never mind. Like, I used to get in trouble for that. But that's real because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, right?
Right.
So if you can do all things, what do you say? Can't. You know what I'm saying? But when you start speaking that stuff out, then this starts to happen.
I agree. I agree. Because like I said, like it's really real, because if you really talk or speak those things into
Mhm.
existence, you will
Mhm.
literally come into contact with someone that you
Mhm.
spoke out, like some, like I don't know, like I don't know how it happens, but when you speak positive things and when you like
Oh
declare it,
yeah.
good things will come.
Mhm.
But it's like
Good things.
if you say, man, I'm an idiot, then God will show you yourself, and he'll send an
Oh
idiot.
yeah. 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 That's real.
You don't want to
Cam,
be
that's
like
real.
this idiot, do you? No.
Do you?
So you're not an
No.
idiot.
Exactly. You ain't no loser. You're not no failure. That's how I used to feel like I was a failure because my 4 years at Clemson didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God don't make no mistakes with what he do.
Right.
Right? That ain't no failure. That's a learning experience to
Yeah.
help you later on in life. Because I'm not gonna be playing softball for the rest of my days, right?
Right.
I got the rest of this season, I got one more year, right? Then I'm in the real world for real.
Right.
Right? And these same things that I've been experiencing in my collegiate career and playing softball and the lessons I've learned, like that's gonna help me. That's gonna help me in life. Again, there's
Right.
some things people don't experience that I have experienced because I played softball and because I went to college and was being a student athlete and they had to go through certain things.
Right.
because saying that it correlates so much with life, man.
It does. No, that's real, man, and that's real. Before we move on, are you thinking about staying at ECU next year or?
Yeah, my program is 2 years.
Okay.
Again, I tore my ACL twice. I got 2 years of eligibility. So my master's program is 2 years, man. So finishing that out and getting that degree and moving on, man. I've done my time with school.
Nah, man, retweet.
I've done my time with school. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. Okay, yeah. No, I'm glad. I really like what you said. How you explained your faith and things of that nature because it's very very important that as people, we grow our connection with our relationship with God, and it's
hmm
we're gonna need them literally everywhere. Like if I'm going to
every
Kroger, I will say a
hmm
prayer like God keep me, because
oh yeah,
because if you see the news nowadays, it's like people really going to grocery stores and
people
are dying,
are
and it's
dying
like
shooting. Yeah, man,
shooting people, and it's like, bro, like
shooting people.
you really gotta and I'm not saying the people that tragically lost their lives, like they
hmm
didn't know God, they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it puts a lot of things into perspective. You're always gonna need God wherever you go,
Then
and it's
wherever you
really
go.
just an unfortunate thing, especially
hmm
that's been plaguing the country for
Oh
decades,
yeah,
for years,
for a
and
decade.
yeah, for decades. I mean,
Cause
it's
every day,
crazy,
yeah.
but yeah, no, I wanted to kind of make the jump over to your time at Clemson. You talked about your teammates and your
hmm
coaches, and um,
hmm
how how have they been instrumental, because you suffered two ACL tears,
hmm
ACL injuries, and
hmm
how has your teammates and your coaches and your mentors, your family, friends, like how
hmm
have they been instrumental in your
hmm
rehabilitation processes? You know what I mean? Because I think
Man.
it's
hmm
it's a mental hurdle. It's so much more
Oh
than
yeah,
just
man.
like getting strength in the in your leg or your arm, or
hmm
but it's really like it's a mental hurdle
Yeah,
that you have to make. But how, yeah, kind of explain how they've been instrumental in your rehabilitation, and then
man,
you know kind of talk about what that process is like.
man. Like God has really blessed me, like with just great people. Like just having friends that, like, again, I have also too, like, yeah, I have friends, softball, but then also too I made good friends with people that were in different sports like track and field, basketball. Then people that didn't play no sports, I have really good friends, you know what I'm saying? So them being able just to even come over and just talk. Sometimes I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna really say what's really going on for real, but like my friends can sense it, and they be like, oh well, I'm gonna come over, we're gonna talk, we're gonna do this, and, that just uplifts my spirit. And then
Right.
having friends that are just funny, like especially when I was at Clemson, having teammates that really, that cared about you. Me and Kaya, we just got along so good. Like we're like the same height. We're both funny. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, her being able to crack jokes, her just always being there for me, like that helped a lot. Along with my other teammates too, that just they cared about me. They care about who I was as a person, right? And my friends were always checking up on me, always making sure I was straight. And my family, man, like my family, like a lot of times I'm usually always on the phone. If I'm on the phone, it's either my friends or my family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
on the phone because that encouraged me. Just hearing them too, like it helps encourage me. Because I don't see them every day. They at home. I'm in school, right? But just hearing their voice and them continue to encourage me. Sometimes I get on the phone with my dad, and it's like he would know what to say before I, you know. It's like he knew how I felt. Same thing with my mom. Like she knew how I felt and she knew the words to say.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to say anything. All I had to do was pick up the phone, right? So God, man, like it's just I would if God had not placed the people He placed in my life, man, it would be yeah. I couldn't even really imagine it without it because it's just they just helped me so much, and then having you know again my mentor, chapel leader, Miss Jess, like just helped me, continue to help me grow in my faith and just be there for me and support me, man. Like
Yeah.
that's like that's more than you could ever ask for. Because again, me being a family oriented person, like I was always family, right?
Yeah,
And I go to
for
college,
sure.
I don't see my family every day, right? And then God puts other great people in your life that feel like family, feel like, y'all related, but y'all are not. Like that's, man, that's like the best. Like y'all always grew. It's like you feel like y'all, man, feel like we connected by blood, right?
Yeah,
So it's like, and then technically we are, in Jesus Christ, but like you feel like y'all came out the same womb in a way, you know.
they coming over to the house
But
for Thanksgiving.
again, my friend Danielle, she was at Clemson too. She did track and field. Now she's at Arizona State doing track and field.
Mm.
She was over for Thanksgiving this past Thanksgiving. Then I have other friend, Tierra, who graduated. We all the same year. She's still working at Clemson football. She came in December and spent some time. Like I just have friends, just come visit me. We go visit each other. We hang out together. I have another friend, one of my good friends too. She's on track and field team at Clemson. She's at Southern California now. We all got together in the summer. We were just hanging out, and
Yeah,
we get on FaceTime calls and encourage one another, encourage each other, because we all go through similar things.
right.
We really do. We all go through similar things. So we all know what to say to each other. We all know how to, really, get that, get that encouragement and really flip a switch and be like, you know what, I can do it. I did,
Yeah,
like they remind me. They remind me of Morgan. Do you know who you are? Like, do you know what you've been through and what God's done to you? Do you know the things you're doing right now? Like, this is wonderful. Because I'm so
yeah,
hard on myself at times where I feel like I should be doing so much more. Like, man, I should be already have jobs and set up in place. I should be hitting this amount of home runs, all types of stuff. But then they remind me, Morgan, just not too long ago, you prayed to be in this position. You wish you
yeah,
could do this, right?
yeah.
This not too long ago, like you was having surgery on your knee, right? Just not too long ago, like you prayed for something like this. So now you in it, be thankful and know
Hmm.
who you are and know who you are in Christ and keep it moving. You can't dwell on the things of the past. You got to
Right.
keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward. So having people, man, that's gonna remind you of who you are and what you should be focusing, what your focus should be on, with who your eyes should be on, which is Christ. That helps so much, man. It
Yeah.
really does.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad you said that. I think because I when I was at Kennesaw, I interned with Student Athlete Success Services, and now
Mhm.
I'm at UGA. I'm a grad assistant with the Athletic Association. So like now so when you talk about the community, relationships that is formed
Mhm.
within athletics, like I
Mhm.
really, really see that, firsthand, what you're talking about. And, you saying
Mhm.
like one of your friends was over for Thanksgiving, like,
Mhm.
connecting with people, your teammates that,
Yeah.
from other sports and, on your teams that
Mhm.
are in different parts of the country, but
Right.
that the bond is still there. And then it's just
It's
like,
still there, man. It's like
like,
it
yo,
has
like,
not left. Yeah.
yeah, no, exactly. I wholeheartedly agree. Now you talked about Kaya, your teammate Kaya, and you've like you repeatedly like she was probably like the most posted person. Like I don't even know how to say it. She was like you know what I'm trying to say, Mo. Like you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
y'all. I could
Yeah.
I could see I could see the I could see the sisterhood, that you had with Kaya. Like kind of
Yeah.
talk about, your relationship with her. Because like I said, like, before we
Man.
recorded, like I wanted to, I was thinking about whether or not should I have Morgan and Kaya or just Morgan, because like I said, when it comes to the media, we're not really trusted, amongst the athletes. And listen, y'all have every right to not trust us, and stuff like that, just because of the things that have been said and on a public spectrum. But
Mhm.
like talk about your relationship with Kaya.
Mhm.
Like how did that come about? Because you said like when you committed to
Mhm.
Clemson, you were a part of the first team,
First
the
ever. Yeah, we were a
the
part of the
the first
first
ever.
the first ever team. Yeah, we were a part of the first ever team. So we came to college early, actually. To like a month and a half after we graduated high school. So I met Kaya then in the summer, and we again being teammates. But we didn't like our relationship didn't strengthen until probably like sophomore year to after COVID when we came back. And we just like, and we were all like, she was always funny, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that you always want to be around, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna laugh, that's gonna keep things light, you know, that's
Right.
gonna care for you, be there for you, like at all times, man. And we just, for men, man, like, we just click just like that. And again, like we're the same height too. Like, well, I may be 1 inch taller than her. So like me being tall too, it's just like, oh man, I got somebody else with me. But like she's just like a great person, a great teammate. You know what I'm saying? Every time we're in
Yeah.
practice, like we just like I enjoy like every time we go to practice, like just seeing her, oh God, let's get it. You know, then we'll go to basketball games together. We'll go out to eat together. Like we even had sleepovers together, you know, like spend like a
Yeah.
lot of time with each other because we were like, you know, almost like the same person. Like we again like the type of person that we are, like we're lighthearted. We don't, you know, confrontation. We don't do too, you know, we don't really do that. So it's just like we're fun. We're good. We're gonna have a good time together. You know, we're gonna be there for each other. It's like I mean, man, like it's like it's hard to describe because it's just like when God puts people in your life, it's just like wow, like
Yeah.
we just you know click in that way. Like and that's like
Yeah.
literally like a teammate, friend, sister. Like to me, like just we just really built a good bond. Like I'm telling you, man. Like again, you hang around us, like you gonna laugh, you gonna have a good time. You know, we gonna,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's just like that type of. It's the energy that people give off too. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Sure.
you can feel certain people's energy. Like man, like it attracts you to want to be around them. And, you know, vice versa. So like us both having that, like it was just honestly, God know what He did. And fun fact is, like when I was committed to Georgia Southern, I think she was committed to ULL at the time, so we would have been playing each other against each other because they're in the same conference, you know. But then you know
Yeah.
we committed to Clemson or whatever. So like,
Right.
man, had I not you know came to Clemson, you know, we wouldn't really met each other, you know. And I just like, and again, like she's again, we're not at the same school anymore. Like she's, you know, done with softball and stuff like that. But we still talk almost every day. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like then that's how it is with all of my friends. Like we always talk every day. Like there's really no week that goes by where we don't talk. You know, and if
Sure.
it is like we only talk once a week, we're like, oh, it's been a long time, man. Since we didn't talk, but really it hasn't. You know, but we just used to, you know, talking to each other all the time. But man,
Yeah.
like that's like one of the things I do miss. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, Lord, I wish I could reverse the time. We could be back together because we also used to room together too. Like when we
Mm.
would go on like trips and travel and stuff like that. We'd be in the hotel room, man, just having a good time. You know, and she really helped me to like work. Like you gotta, because a lot of times I take a lot of things real serious. You know, at times like I'm just like, oh man, I should have did this, should have did that. She's like, boy, you just gotta enjoy stuff. You know, you gotta, you know you can't think too much about everything, you know, because again,
Right.
I tend to overthink as well. So like she balanced me out as well, you know, especially being, you know, being on the field, you know, and off the field. It's like, you know what, Morgan, you gotta keep it pushing. And a lot of my friends are like that, you know, like Morgan, hey, you know, I feel like Danielle, like she's like, Morgan, hey, ain't nothing you can too much to do. You just gotta keep moving forward. You know,
Yeah.
that's how a lot of my friends are, and that helps me so much, so much, you know. But man, yeah, I miss Kaya all the time. I really do. She
Yeah.
is. Hopefully, she'll be coming up. We'll be seeing each other though, but we talk all the time. But
Yeah.
that was like having a teammate like that, like, and I had other teammates like that too. But like we just like I was like we were almost like the same person in a way. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's love for real. I think with any friendship, I mean, it's so dope to see that sports isn't excluded from, times where people just come together because God
hmm
wanted it to happen. And I
God
think
wanted to happen.
he
Yeah.
wanted it to happen, and I think that's really, 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 really cool to see. Because I just remember, I
hmm
can't really remember a specific time where you posted her, but I just like remember, like y'all would just laugh, like Morgan, y'all laugh.
That is literally, I'm telling you, like, you want to hear some laughing, like, bro, like, put me and Kai together. We gonna laugh. Like, I'm telling you,
Morgan, bro.
literally,
And Morgan,
man,
and I just remember the laugh from like middle school and high school, like,
I'm telling you,
like,
Karen, like, I got so many different laughs, bro. Like, my teammate was saying me the other day, she's like, Morgan, like, you have so many different laughs and different things. Like, they can actually, like, my teammates here at ECU, like, they probably got me down pat. Like, with just
really,
if they were to imitate me, like, they could do it. They can
wow,
do it, Cam. I'm telling you.
that's crazy. Nah, it's crazy you say that because I've been told, like, Cam, you got a lot of laughs, like, nah, like my
Man.
my girlfriend, like, she literally said, Cam, you have a lot
Uh-huh.
of laughs, like, and I'm like, first of all, that's not how I laugh, but
Look,
it
look,
is
I
how
be
I
like,
laugh
look,
though.
but it is I laugh though. Look, Cam, I'm telling you, like, I guess I don't know if it's a black people thing, like I don't know, but like I definitely have a lot of laughs, and even like people in my family do. Like we got different laughs, depending on
Yeah.
like what it is, and they like don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
It just happens.
It just
Yeah, nah,
happens.
like my dad, how the way my dad laughs, he just like he would have to process what just made him laugh. So he'll sit like this, like
I tell you, man.
I'm like, my God, you
Oh my
said
god.
3 different languages in one laugh. What you mean?
Literally. Oh my gosh,
Nah,
man.
man.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think anybody who has like more than one laugh, I think they themselves are very humorous people, and they that
Exactly.
they're serious, but like unserious at the same time. You
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
like don't sit next to me in church, because I would tell you right now, we gonna laugh.
Oh,
We gonna laugh. I
yeah, like it's
listen. I sit next to my mom. I can't sit next to my mom because my mom gonna
yeah.
laugh, bruh. And if she
Look,
laugh, I'm for sure.
I'm going to laugh. Look, I'm telling you, Cam, when me and my cousins like oh, I always get together, we go somewhere, go to church or something like that. I look at them, they see something funny, they start laughing. Look, I'm laughing like we cannot, especially in serious situations. Like, let me
Yes,
tell you.
bruh.
So we always go on a family trip on my mom's side of the family, and we always pray before we leave. So we were
Facts.
in our circle praying, and my aunt, my uncle was praying, and my mom and her sister, they were just like, just yes, Lord, and then my cousin, like, we look at each other. And then all of a sudden, it's like 4 or 5 of us. We almost start busting out laughing. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, we just can't be serious in serious situations. Like, we know we ain't supposed to be laughing during no prayer, but like, man, I mean, we was tripping out, especially after we was tripping out, man.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, man, it be like that for real. And then too, you family gatherings,
Oh,
you gonna
oh,
gather around the
gonna act up.
table. You
You
gonna
know,
gather
you
around
gonna
in the
act
kitchen
up.
and say prayer. So it's like at that
Look,
point, it's like, hey man, it's open season at this point. You God know my heart.
God know why, Lord, I didn't mean it, but they. Oh my God,
The
I'm
devil
telling you,
got in them.
man.
That's why I was laughing.
They got it. That's what I was laughing.
Nah, but nah, for real, it really is like that. But for the second time, this is my last question, but answer this any way that you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Angel Reese has made headlines about how she reacted when she lost to Iowa. This was 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
She got a lot of, criticism for crying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't think people understand, and this is my interpretation of what I saw. She wasn't crying because she lost the game. And I think with
Right, right.
anything, yeah, put it in perspective. Like, this is the Elite Eight national championship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you are disappointed, but Angel Reese, she a national champion. Like, she knows what it takes to
Mm-hmm.
win and stuff like that.
Exactly.
She started crying because she was reflecting on
Mm-hmm.
the year, like, that has
Mm-hmm.
that the year she had after she won the national championship last
Mm-hmm.
year. And you have a lot of people who were saying, hey, like, you can't be the big bad wolf and then cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Morgan. I remember I seen it. His name is Emmanuel Acho. It was on
Uh,
Speak, the sports debate show. I knew what he said was really bad, because for starters, you
uh,
use Courage the Cowardly Dog so wrong. Like,
yeah.
whenever he would
Look.
cry, he wouldn't cry because he was sad. He was crying
Uh-huh.
because he was scared. And oftentimes he would rarely cry. He just had a lot of
Uh-huh.
anxiety that if he saw
Uh-huh.
anything out of the norm, he'd trip. Like, he would be tripping for
Uh-huh.
real. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you're not in touch with the generation like you think you are. Two, two, it was this false narrative. And don't get me wrong. Yes, some of the times Angel Reese has, from a personal standpoint, Angel Reese
Mm-hmm.
has, when she would trash talk, it'd be like, yo, come on, bro. Like, just hold
Yeah,
your
yeah,
breath.
yeah.
We already know you
Yeah, yeah,
good. We know
yeah.
we know you a projected top 5 pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Mm-hmm.
know you gonna get yours. But come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair to put that label of being the villain
Yeah.
onto her, and I just feel like her treatment, you know, during that after that press conference, it really made me see in a way, and I've talked with others as well, it helped me see the true nature of sports media pertaining to black women. So
Yeah.
what, like, how, like, and it just proves to me that black women, regardless of the industry that you're in, they are the most disrespected people on the face of the earth. I don't care. Yeah,
Mhm.
women's rights is essential. It's
Mhm.
essential. But when you watch these TV shows and you watch,
Mhm.
the settings that are taking place in like the early 1900s and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
women's suffrage, that really was focused on white women. It had nothing
Mhm.
to do with black women. Period.
Mhm.
Um.
Mhm.
So 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 I guess for me, in
Mhm.
asking you this, as a black woman in sports,
Mhm.
um, what was your reaction to that? Like, how did you feel?
Mm.
How do you feel knowing that no matter what you do, no matter
What you
what you
do?
say in a
Yeah,
public,
somebody gonna always, yeah,
somebody's always gonna have something to say.
always
Like,
gonna have something to say.
what is your perspective, that you want people to know as a black woman who's an athlete, but also a black
Mhm.
woman in America, period.
Period. Man.
Where there are no spaces in this
Mhm.
country where black women can't be vulnerable without people thinking that, like, you're mad or you're angry or you're upset. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, what is your perspective on that? Yeah, like,
Man.
what's your perspective?
I remember when I saw it, I sent it to my friend. I was like, man, like people are just so low down for real. Like she didn't accomplish this much. Like everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? We're not all the same, right? Again, basketball, basketball is a sport. It's competitive, right? You're
Right.
gonna have some trash talking. You know what I'm saying? Again, the men do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's just a part of it, right? But like for you to belittle somebody, and she did exactly what a lot of people want to do in the sport, in the sport of basketball or whatever sport they would want to be in, right? They would
Right.
want to accomplish those things. So like for people to just like continue to belittle her and try to take that away from her, like she didn't earn that. It's like, man, it don't matter what you do. People want you to like. It's like this world like wants you to act how they want you to act. Like they don't want you to be you. You know what I'm saying? It's like they feel offended, especially you see a black woman who's like strong. You know what I'm saying? Like strong in what she believes in, confident. It's like that kind of scares them in a way. It's like, oh, she shouldn't be talking like that. She shouldn't be doing that. She should be way more humble. She should be way more like this. But like, like it's like, what do you mean by that?
Right.
Like I am who I am, and I know who I am and what God has done for me. So like, why I got to cater to you and not be who I am? So like for her to like say that she was still getting like even when she won, still getting backlash, still getting everything. I'm like, this is a prime example. Is that it don't matter what you do, people are never gonna be satisfied. People are always gonna have something to say, and they gonna definitely try to take it away from you, discredit you. And then being black, black in America, like it's like they don't want to see you win. They don't.
Right.
As much as we want to say, oh yeah, people are, oh yeah, we want to see everybody win. No, that's not everybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Everybody don't want to see you win. And again, being in the United States, where again we going back in time, like we had to fight for our rights. We had to fight. You know what I'm saying? And I again being in Tulsa, I was able to see the Tulsa massacre. It was a gallery, and I look on the wall and seeing all these entrepreneurs that are black, doctors, black doctors. I mean, all that type of stuff. People had their own stuff,
Right.
right? And because of hatred and all type of stuff, it's burnt to the ground, right? And again, like as sad as it was, also like man, like we are great.
Yeah.
We can be ourselves, and we are smart, we're intelligent. We're all of that, and ain't nobody gonna take that. As much as they want, again they burnt it all down, all the buildings and all stuff down, but they couldn't burn what was inside, and they still kept rebuilding. Tried the best they could to rebuild that area,
Right.
but it's like it's sad though. It really is sad because
Yeah.
it's like it's two sides. You know, You're like,
Right.
oh, this person can act this way, but she can't act the way. No, I got so much to say about that.
Right.
But like, listen, if she, let's keep it real. Like, if she was white, like, would they be saying the same thing? Like, it's always two sides to everything. So that's the hard thing. It's like they don't want you to be who you are. They want you to be somebody else. They want you to be who they want you to be. And that's just sad to me, man. Like,
It is.
try to take all that she's done. Try to take that. Try to take that from her and belittle her. Like, don't do that, man.
Yeah.
Whether you like her or not, don't do that. Yeah, because that's not right at all.
Right. No, I agree. I'm glad I was able, because that was one of the reasons why I brought you on here. Because I wanted to hear your perspective as well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think when it comes to white counterparts, it's very easy to ask the question, like, all right, if Caitlin Clark was in this same position,
Mm-hmm.
would she be having the same criticism? Or
Right.
and what makes it even so much worse, and when it comes to black women, is that black men are literally doing what white men are doing when it comes to stuff like this. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
bruh, like, we fail to understand, like, bruh,
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese is a kid. She in
Yeah,
college.
21?
She
Maybe
21.
22?
Yeah,
Yeah, 21.
that's what I'm
And
saying,
y'all
man.
got all this stuff to say about her, and she probably accomplished more than you probably could ever accomplish. Are we
Ever
serious?
accomplished? Exactly. It don't make no sense, man.
It makes zero sense.
It make no sense, because it's like and you said it, like, this world puts these standards and expectations on these women and how they're supposed to act, but when they're not adhering to your standards,
like,
it's a
exactly.
problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah, nah. Don't let me be on Rod. With all due respect, don't let me be on ESPN, because I would have flamed
Like,
Stephen A. up
everybody's
if he did this, man. Like,
like,
nah,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? Like, we always had to conform to their standards.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why can't I just be who I am?
Yeah.
Why do I have to be? And she won a national championship,
Yeah.
and you tell me people still had something to say about that? Like, oh, like she didn't do that. She didn't do that. She's not that. She shouldn't have been acting like that. She should have did this. What?
Don't make no sense,
What are
man.
you talking about?
Don't make no sense.
No sense,
But
man. That's why you gotta stay prayed up. I'm telling you,
yeah,
Ken, you gotta stay prayed up.
yeah,
Cause
I
man,
agree.
you listen to all that, hearing all that, ain't nothing but the devil. And then you get into your mind, and you start being, well, maybe do I deserve this? Do I deserve? Shut that down real quick.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
because all that second guessing and all that type of stuff, God's not gonna tell you, oh, you can't do this, oh, you're not good enough. God ain't gonna tell you that.
Right. I
No,
agree.
I'm not gonna tell you that.
I agree.
You know. So
Yeah.
if He ain't telling you that, you know who is. Say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why it's like you said. That's why it's so important to stay prayed up, for real.
To stay prayed up and have
Stayed
the
up.
whole
Stay prayed
armor of
up.
God.
Yeah.
Especially in the Word, being in the Word, man. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, going to therapy. I think
going to therapy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think a lot of times, man, we can get, as Christians, we can get so lost in the fact that, God can do this and God can do that. And then that's true. He can.
Yeah, and it's true.
But there's a reason why there are therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists.
And I'm telling you, when I got to Clemson, I was like, I don't need to talk to nobody, please. Man, I realized, like, and it's not, and I guess it's the stigma behind it, like, oh, something is wrong with you. But it's really like, something like some things can be wrong with you, but you want to be better. Like, you want to, like, why am I thinking like this? Why am I doing that? I've been going to sports psychologist for how many years now? 5 years now.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that sports psychologist I have here and had at Clemson, they've helped me so much too. Like, help me the way that I think. Like, okay, why are you thinking this way? Like, getting down to the root of, okay, why are you thinking this way? No, that ain't the right way to think. Right now, with our sports psychologist here, it's like, Morgan, focus on the process. You can't control the outcome. Because I have a control problem too. I try to control everything. She's like, Morgan, you can't control the outcome. You can only be in the present and focus on the process. Right. And those, like, hearing that and actually having somebody sit down with you to be like, okay, here's your process. So, like, I put it in softball terms, okay? Yeah, I want to get a hit. Okay, but that's an outcome. Okay, what is your process? Okay, well, I'm going to be relaxed in the box. I'm going to get my barrel to the zone, and I'm going to be on time.
Right.
That's a process, right? And then, okay, whatever happens at a bat, okay, say, what did you, she's like, okay, what did you do good? What did you do better? How are you going to adjust? Because in life, you got to adjust.
You got to
can't
adjust,
stay
for real.
stuck on what that last at bat was or what just happened yesterday. You have to adjust. And that just, when I heard that, I was like, wow. Again, I'm like, I'm still learning stuff, and I've been, still going with sports psychology for 5 years now.
Yeah.
I'm still learning things, learning how to tweak my mind, because that's the most. It's so important. Like, it's
Right.
so important, and that's why I take that stuff serious. I'm like, when I'm not feeling good here, my body follows. When I'm thinking the same way, you get, and also cause sickness. The way you think, you're not feeling good, and you become sick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real, because that's happened to me before.
It is.
So it's like, all that worrying and the anxiety and stuff, always trying to find ways to cope with it. Not gonna say it's gonna go away, but you can find better ways to deal with it, right? And sports psychologists, like therapy and stuff, like that stuff helps.
It does.
That stuff
really
helps.
does. It really does. And it's like,
right.
When you talk about like it, you get sick, you really do get sick. Like, it's crazy.
You really do get sick.
It's crazy.
You really do get sick. And it's not saying as a Christian like that replaces God. No way, shape, or form. God puts people in your life to help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's resources that he'll guide you to. Okay, use that, and then continue. Of course, you're gonna always continue to use him, but like having God and also having people that can help you with sports psychologists, therapy that can also help you, man, that'll take you a long way, for real.
Sure, absolutely. No, I 100% agree. But Miss Morgan, I appreciate you for coming on here, man. I tried to do as less talking as I possibly could, because I really wanted to hear your story and your testimony and the things that God has done for you, not only as a player, but also as a person. I don't know. I just remember, like I said, just going back to middle school and just seeing, you just not only excelled in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, and your parents, and your brother and sister, man, your family, like it's been a great thing to watch. And so when, like I said, when you committed to Clemson, I was like, dang, like Mo, like she going to Clemson, like she ain't going to like. I can't really speak on that, but you going to Clemson though, like that's that's pretty cool, man.
Nothing but God, man. Nothing but God, and to be a part of the first program ever, man.
Yeah.
All glory to God, because like he placed me right where he wanted me at the time, you know, and that's just the type of God we serve,
Absolutely. Well, Miss Morgan, I appreciate you for your time, for being on here. You're more than welcome on this podcast anytime.
Man, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cam, for having me. I just love to talk sometimes, man. Man, we go way back. Look, tell me, we go way back now. Look.
Yeah, man. Nah, you're
back.
already.
So, man, I got here to get on here for you, man.
Absolutely.
I had to do that now. Look, I had to get on here and support you, man.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate the support, man. Real talk. My parents, they ask about you sometimes. I was like, Cam, you remember Morgan? I was like, yeah. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, do you remember Morgan? She's like, my mom is like, yeah. Is she still playing softball? I was like, yeah, she was at Clemson. She experienced some injuries, but now she's at Eastern Carolina. She graduated from Clemson, but now she's at Eastern Carolina, playing for them now. So she's like, oh, okay, yeah. Tell her I said hi. And I was like, it's so funny you say that, because she's actually coming on the podcast very soon. So my mom says hi. So.
Man, tell the family I said hello, man.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah,
I will do. But yeah. All right, man. I'm not gonna hold you too long, but I appreciate you again. You are more than welcome on this podcast anytime you want. Anytime you want. Just let me know. Hit me up, Cam. I want to talk about some things on this pod right quick. All right, let's set up a time and we'll get you squared away for sure. So, but yeah, thank you again, Morgan. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of tonight's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And on top of that, be on the lookout for more. Why is my eye twitching? I feel like my under eye is twitching. But we'll be on the lookout for more videos, more content from me, and the family as well. But in the meantime, y'all have a great Monday. Stay safe. God bless you. Love.
God bless.